Hello. Well, I haven't chatty rambled or chambled for a while, so here I am. Hello to you. For the eagle-eyed amongst you, you'll see I'm wearing a new hat. It's a little bit Russian Orthodox. I can tell you it's very hot. Slightly sweaty upper lip now, I won't lie. It's definitely an out of season number. But because for some reason, I don't know how it started, in the Chatty Rambles or Chambles, it became a thing to find a new bit of headgear or a new way to wear a hat each chamble. So here I am committing to the heat of the black Russian winter hat. For those of you new to the Chambles, buckle in. This is basically it. It's an unedited, unprepared chat at you, hence Chatty Ramble. But in this time, I sort of feel like it's nice to connect. It's nice for me to chat and say hello. I'm quarantining on my own. And yeah, the theme, they started with me raising awareness for people with chronic illness for whom lockdown is their everyday life, plus they're ill, obviously. And then it turned into talking about what our purpose is and meeting our needs and what positives we can take from lockdown. If you haven't listened to them, then really you should go back. It's very wise, occasionally witty. I don't know what's this angle? It's like I'm about to do the teapot dance. Hi, just chatting to you at this angle for some unknown reason. The Chambles still don't have a jingle or chingle, except the only thing that I have prepared today, so it might be a rather short chamble, is the fact that the chingle could be this, but I'm still going to keep looking for your lovely DMs with potential jingles that you've made up, which is very kind of you. Chambles, chambles. I mean, it sort of works, doesn't it? Chambles, chatty rambles, chambles. It's gotten a bit awry now, hasn't it? Time to face the changes. Well, I mean, that's a theme, isn't it? Wow, we're doing that. Time to face the changes, and that's what I talked about before, wasn't it? That for many of us, it is a time to really get still and think what was wrong about pre-corona. You know, it's just shining a massive light on all that was wrong with society before and what has to change. And I do believe that I know how much global suffering there is going on. This week I've been thinking about the slums in India, the townships in South Africa, refugee camps, where they have to go out to work to live, to make money for basic foods. They can't social distance, they're in incredible heat, you know. This is awful, and here I am in a sort of privileged position, my work not changing, I'm in a safe environment. Yes, I've started talking to inanimate objects because I'm quarantining on my own. I said goodnight to my iPad last night. But, you know, it is hard to hold that darkness and that suffering along with the fact, yeah, as I say, I'm in a place where many of us are, where we're okay. It's affecting us all in different ways, but we can kind of be okay and think, okay, what changes do I want to make personally? And I think that's okay. That's okay to be okay. It's also okay not to be okay within our okayness. But I do think that if each one of us makes a change, the world will change. It can't not. I think if each one of us takes something that's on our heart to change, that riled them, that affected them, that was bringing them down, that was making them anxious before, then the world will become a more loving and giving and freer place, and I think changes will be made, you know, whether it's on your heart to think about the environment, whether it's on your heart to think about supporting people with chronic illness, whether it's on your heart to think about changing the way you do your community, becoming more community minded, to think about what you really want to do with your life, following your heart rather than doing a job that you felt like you should do, you know. All these small things, the way you're starting to meet your needs more, like we talked about in another Chamble, will universally, there will be change. So yeah, what else? As I say, nothing prepared for this. Normally I have one idea that I might want to talk to you about, but nothing. I'm wearing the Comic Relief Love Wins designed by Charlie Ramble t-shirt because tomorrow, Thursday the 23rd of April, in case you're not watching this today, I don't know why you're not rushing to watch it the minute I post. This nonsense coming out of my mouth with my hat, which is slightly beginning to slip, by the way. Eventually it'll be like this. Hi. It's very hot. I'm committing to it. What was I saying? Oh, it's the big night in, 7 p.m, Thursday, 23rd of April, BBC One. If you get this afterwards, it might be on iPlayer. Every penny being raised is going to the most vulnerable who need it during Corona. And I might make a brief appearance, I couldn't possibly say. Also today, Wednesday the 22nd of April, slightly less important, but in terms of us all doing our little bit to help, the Miranda shop, if you go to @the Miranda shop on Instagram, we've created a free game so you can have some larks in lockdown called Miranda Bingo or Moringo. I know, thrilling. As that launches today. Maybe I'll do a live bingo call at some point at the Miranda shop and follow it and see what happens. I'm just having a large gin. It's water, I don't drink. What else? Well, maybe it'll just be a very short Chamble and it'll just be me in a winter hat today. I suppose I just wanted to say that I know what I can say. I was just about to say it, which made me think of something. Is anyone else very handsy? That sounds wrong. Just when I speak, I remember when I did my tour and we were in rehearsals because it was an arena tour. If you haven't seen that, and Miranda, my what I call live show, might cheer you up. Yeah, when rehearsals for my tour, because it was an arena, you had to do camera rehearsals because a lot of people watch it on the screen, and they were sort of going quite tight shots like that, and they kept having to widen it because my art, I was essentially very camp, very handsy, not in that way. So yes, I had one idea, which made me think of another idea. So the initial idea was that the theme of these Chambles really was about what my slightly naff little thing says in my bio on social media, that I'm here to encourage people to make them free to be who they're made to be. Sorry, glitch. I'm scratching like a dog there. And what that means, I know, it means, I suppose, I'm encouraging people to feel inherently loved and approved and accepted in who they are before they've done anything. So that if you feel inherently loved and approved, then a lot of problems do kind of instantly start or can start dissipating. You stop comparing yourself to others. Why would you? You are who you are. You're unique. You're loved. You're approved. You can stop your inner critic, stop being so unkind to yourself. You can stop being affected by what other people say to you, about you or think about you. You can start following your heart's desire, meeting your needs, because you know that you're inherently important. And from that sort of core sense of being loved and approved, then you make changes. You then are freely able to be who you are from that. So that's sort of what, so I'm very tired today, I don't know if that made any sense. I think it will be a short ramble. I've got to 10 minutes already. I do worry about myself at the level of rambling. So anyway, I'll just say this today, that then made me think of the other thing, which was that I had a message from someone who said that they were feeling really awful and really anxious because this time had given them the chance to realise that in their job, which they're now not doing, they'd been really put down, not bullied as such, but kind of subtly like told that they were silly or too loud or sometimes showing off because they were too clever. Just, and like what often happens in an emotionally abusive relationship or physically abusive relationship, the person being abused starts to believe those truths, those things being said about them. I suppose it's the same with bullying as well. You start to believe that you are silly or stupid or too clever or showing off or whatever. And you just lose yourself completely. And this person was just saying they're almost embarrassed that they let themselves align with what other people were saying about them. To which I said, well, you wouldn't say to someone who was suffering, God, that's awful that you were put down in your work situation and made to feel like that. So you should feel really embarrassed. Just be mean, wouldn't it? We have to start listening to our inner critic and see it as if we were talking to our loved ones, because you just don't treat anyone else but yourself in that way. That's a whole other subject. And she was saying, have you got any advice for how I start building myself back up? And that really struck me as a kind of really brilliant example of what ultimately most people have experienced, often subconsciously. And often it can be, now I've got an itchy ear, what's wrong with me? Often it can be a massive blessing in a huge disguise. I'm not belittling abuse and bullying on that level, my golly, no. But to have had a really significant kind of abuse like that, you realise what's happened. Whereas often it's very subconscious, with sort of peer pressure and societal and parental pressure sort of going along, and you can kind of hit 40, 50, it's what the midlife crisis is all about, and go, hang on, I've been following these certain rules and things that just aren't me, and I've lost who I am. And I've always had a slight sense of underlying shame of who I am. And yeah, it really struck me. So I just said to her, so I'll share it with you as well in case anyone feels in a similar position, that it really is a question of kind of writing down what they said about you or what you feel about yourself or begun to feel about yourself. I mean, you needn't be in any kind of bullying situation. You could simply have an inner critic that tells you certain things about yourself. And it's really important to write them down or tell someone. But I find writing it down really helpful. And as I heard from Dr. Caroline Leaf, a brilliant woman to follow on Instagram, the other day, she said this, she's a neuroscientist, she said that by speaking out loud or writing down your thoughts and worries and concerns, your brain processes them, so they almost sort of get unstuck out of the brain, and the brain goes, okay, we're working through this, I can kind of leave the body and leave the system, so you become less symptomatic. So it does really work, it's science in it. So I said, write down what you've been told about yourself, what you're thinking about yourself now, and then just start to really repair that. So if it's like, I'm too loud, just think, is that in any way true? And you always know if you've done something wrong or something's true. You always know it. And that's the key thing, is I said, if you know you've done nothing wrong, if you know you haven't gone into a meeting and gone, rah, hi, taken your top off and sat down, strange example, then you know it's lies, because we always know, that's why we have a conscience. So you then go, no, that wasn't true. I know I wasn't too loud. And I know that I love the part of myself that is silly and can make jokes and can be big and celebratory and extroverted. So I'm going to choose not to align myself with that lie. And I'm going to very slowly each day build that back into not I'm too loud, but I have a good sense of humour. Whatever it is about you that you want to celebrate that is the opposite to that thought you've been made to believe. And then each day, sometimes you need to do it really slowly. Just do a little thing that means you come back to that part of yourself that you've ignored. You just go, oh, I do have something. So I'm just going to be really brave and just do something silly for the hell of it to start rewiring that neural pathway that you've believed that you're too loud or you're too silly. And you will come back to yourself and you will come back to who you are. So that's my thought for this chamble. I'm very tired at the moment, so I don't know if I've made any sense. I can't wait to get this book done because I know what I have to say. It has some authority and weight behind it. A lot of it comes from personal experience. I have learnt a huge amount. I've trained in various areas, and I know this book is going to make it really clear what the whole kind of self-help world is saying, and make it really easy and manageable and simple for everybody. And so I can't wait to get it all out. It feels like I need to be sort of, often when you write, hello fellow writers out there, hi. You know what you want to say, and it's all there, and it's also exciting. You become really inarticulate until you write it. It's like you need to be creatively sick. It's lovely, isn't it? On the page, come back to the slight teapot stance there. But you need to get it all out, and yeah, I think then it will get really clear in my head, and I'll be a bit more articulate on the chambles. Tell you what, why don't you write in the comments? Don't DM me, because I don't often look at DMs, and it's a bit hard to manage, and I can't really see, I can't reply to people, etc. Write in the comments what you'd like me to talk about, or ask me questions. Oh yes, fun, ask me questions, and then next chamble I'll answer them, and you'll get, I won't look at the questions before I chatty ramble, otherwise we're going to preparedness, which this isn't about, as we know. And Russian hat slipping down. Yes, but at least it will be a bit more of a prepared thing, and I can have a framework from which to work from your questions. It's interesting, isn't it? I wonder if there wasn't a global pandemic whether I'd actually post this, because I love the fact, it's another thing that I love about lockdown is that I have become more and more freely me. I was pretty free to be me before, to be honest. But yeah, I think I did edit more and would have thought, oh, this wasn't very articulate, I'm now getting to 18 minutes of nonsense. But I believe there'll be something within it that'll be of substance, intrigue or amusement. Read into my body language now, sort of strangulating myself. Listen, I'll sign off. It's been lovely to chat through the Russian hat. I'll have to find another hat next time. Remember to watch The Big Night In if you get this in time. Remember to take care of yourself, be kind to yourself, look after yourself. Go to the Miranda shop if you want to play Miranda bingo. It'll be on there from tonight. That's Wednesday, the 22nd of April, I think. Who knows what day it is anymore. These trousers that I'm wearing can practically stand up on their own now. I've been wearing them so long. It's a lovely note to leave on. Love you very much. Take care.